Tonight, breaking news as we come on the air. A young officer with less than a year on the job ambushed and killed outside of Cleveland. Officers from surrounding towns rushing in to find the suspect. Authorities identifying the alleged shooter, a 24-year-old man. The U.S. Marshal Service leading the operation. Heavily armed officers surrounding a residence. Alex Presha with late-breaking details. The new air quality concerns in multiple states from the Canadian wildfires and the flash flood threat happening now along the Gulf Coast. 13 million people from Texas to Florida. Severe weather bringing with it the possibility of more tornadoes. Our weather team timing it all out. On hold, just before we came on the air, crews delaying plans to blast the giant steel remains of the Key Bridge resting on the cargo ship Dolly. Up to 12 million pounds of metal, the 21-member crew still on board. What we're learning tonight about the timetable to move the ship. Ike Ejiochi from the scene. Overseas, civilians under fire. First, the war in Ukraine. Russia stepping up its attacks on villages in northern Ukraine and blaming Ukraine for a deadly attack on a 10-story apartment building in western Russia. James Longman reporting from Ukraine tonight. In Gaza, the IDF pushing deeper into Rafah. Thousands of civilians fleeing. Families only taking what they can carry as Israel moves closer to a full-scale invasion. Marcus Moore from Israel. School districts across the country brace for layoffs. As enrollment declines and pandemic-era funding ends, the outrage from parents. Graduation ceremonies cut short for thousands of Howard University graduates as families demand answers. Days after he was hit by a bottle, what happened to Novak Djokovic on the court? It's not over yet. The last glimpse of the dazzling display in the skies above North America. And on this Mother's Day, the mother and son reuniting after decades, celebrating this special day for the first time.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks so much for joining us on this Sunday. I'm Rachel Scott, in for Lindsay Davis. Several developing stories as we come on the air tonight. Wildfires in Canada causing air quality concerns in the U.S. and millions bracing for flooding from Texas to Florida. But we begin tonight with breaking news. An urgent manhunt for a suspect in that fatal shooting of a police officer in Ohio. Authorities say Officer Jacob Durbin was ambushed while responding to a disturbance call outside of Cleveland. Police identifying the suspect as 24-year-old Deshaun Anthony Vaughn and saying he is considered to be armed and extremely dangerous. U.S. Marshals, a SWAT team, and other law enforcement agencies descending on an apartment complex in nearby Shaker Heights. Tonight, Durbin is being remembered as a hero. It was only his first year with the Euclid Police Department. ABC's Alex Presha leading us off with the new details just coming in.
Tonight, a manhunt is underway following the fatal shooting of an Ohio officer in what police say was an ambush attack. Authorities releasing these images of their suspect, 24-year-old Deshaun Anthony Vaughn.
All we know is the male has been all black.
Overnight, police in Euclid, outside of Cleveland, responded to a disturbance call at a home when they say a gunman opened fire.
One officer down, 2 gunshot wounds. It is unknown whether the suspect was hit.
Officer Jacob Durbin was shot and later died at a local hospital. He was in his first year with the Euclid Police Department. The suspect, Deshaun Anthony Vaughn, is described as 6'3" and 215 pounds. Police say he may be driving a Volkswagen Passat with temporary plates. Multiple law enforcement agencies, including the U.S. Marshal Service, are assisting in the search, and there were reports of a heavy police presence in nearby Shaker Heights this afternoon. Ohio's Attorney General promising in a statement, the killer who ambushed Officer Durbin will be found and will receive the full measure of justice.
Now tonight, Euclid's mayor is calling Officer Durbin a hero who selflessly protected and served. Authorities are asking the public to call in with tips, but they also warned that suspect should be considered armed and very dangerous. Rachel?
That manhunt still underway. Alex, thank you. We turn now to those fast-growing wildfires in Canada, forcing thousands to evacuate their homes. More than 140 active fires, the majority raging across British Columbia and Alberta, causing poor air quality and reducing visibility. And that smoke is already impacting air quality in North Dakota, Minnesota, and other parts of the U.S. Here's ABC's Jaclyn Lee.
Tonight, firefighters are racing against the clock to contain wildfires that are consuming parts of Canada. In northern British Columbia, thousands of residents in multiple communities evacuating. 90 of the country's active fires are in British Columbia and Alberta. Thick smoke in Edmonton, Alberta's capital city, home to nearly 1 million people. The smoke from those fires now making its way across the border and into the upper Midwest. The entire state of Minnesota and much of Wisconsin under an air quality alert for unhealthy air through tomorrow. Last summer, much of the U.S. impacted by smoke from the fires burning throughout Canada. The New York City skyline turning orange amid the hazardous air quality.
Rachel, Canada is coming off its worst wildfire season on record. The current widespread drought is not helping anything, with the potential for another rough wildfire year ahead. Rachel?
Certainly not helping. Jaclyn, thank you. Let's get right to ABC meteorologist Samara Theodore. Samara, you're tracking two developing stories, the 13 million Americans under a flood watch tonight and the smoke from those wildfires. Where is it heading next?
Well, Rachel, you know, we are seeing this smoke dig deep into the lower 48. So right now we've got our eyes on Montana, parts of Minnesota as well. And you can see here Minneapolis really enduring that smoke through this evening. So make sure those windows are closed. We're starting to see this air quality diminish. By tomorrow, it's hitting cities like Sioux Falls, Rochester, and by tomorrow evening, digging even deeper south into places like Omaha and Cedar Rapids. Meanwhile, we are keeping a very close eye on the south, dealing with heavy rain. This has led to flood watches through Monday for cities like Waco and Lufkin. That flood watch extends farther east on Tuesday into cities like New Orleans and Hattiesburg. Now, the severe threat is also looming as we head into Monday. In fact, we do have the chance for damaging winds and possibly even some tornadoes for this area shaded in yellow. That stretches from San Antonio and Houston all the way to places like Jackson and Montgomery. As far as rain totals go, anywhere from 5 to 8 inches is possible along the Gulf Coast. The Northeast must brace for rain by the middle of the week. We could pick up 1 to 3 inches of rain. Rachel?
Samara, thank you. Now to the stunning spectacle in the sky. Tonight, parts of the U.S. and Canada could get a final glimpse of the northern lights as the powerful solar storm continues. Those lights are triggered by rare but powerful solar flares reaching the Earth. Next tonight, the controlled demolition to remove a portion of Baltimore's Key Bridge postponed just a short time ago due to lightning. So let's bring ABC's Ike Ejiochi reporting from Baltimore tonight. Ike, this has happened several times already, so when will it be rescheduled?
Rachel, this demolition is now scheduled for tomorrow. The focus of the demolition is a piece of the Francis Scott Key Bridge that weighs between 8 and 12 million pounds. It's still stuck on the bow of the Dali, that 1,000-foot-long cargo ship that crashed into the Baltimore Bridge in March, killing 6 people. After the demolition, the smaller sections of steel will be lifted onto barges for removal. 2 days later, officials expect the Dali to be refloated and moved back to the port of Baltimore, and then to another terminal about 2.5 miles away. Now, Rachel, there are still 21 crew members on board the ship maintaining it. Officials say they'll stay on the ship and shelter in place during the controlled demolition. Rachel? Officials
hoping they can move forward as scheduled. Ike, thank you. Overseas now, into a deadly missile strike that hit a Russian apartment building near the Ukrainian border. At least 12 bodies were recovered in the rubble and 20 people were injured. All of this coming as Russian forces push deeper into northern Ukraine. ABC's James Longman reporting from Ukraine tonight.
Tonight, a direct hit on an apartment building in southern Russia. Moscow blaming Ukraine for the attack on the city of Belgorod, claiming at least 12 people killed and more than a dozen injured. The mission to rescue survivors from their mangled homes delicate. Part of a roof collapsing, sending emergency workers fleeing. Belgorod is just over the border from Ukraine's second largest city, Kharkiv, where Russia has launched its latest offensive. Ukraine has not claimed responsibility, but it follows a stark admission from Kyiv. Russia's new wave of aggression has significantly worsened the situation around Kharkiv. The local governor says more than 4,000 people have now had to flee their homes from the Russian onslaught. The Russians are erasing Vovoshansk from the face of the earth, the head of Kharkiv's regional police says. They're using the scorched earth method. Russia claims it captured at least 9 villages this weekend alone.
And Rachel, tonight, Vladimir Putin has fired his long-serving defense minister, Sergei Shoigu. He'd been in post since 2012, and it comes at a critical time. Ukraine is in possibly its most dangerous position since this war began. Rachel?
Yeah, major shakeup at a critical time. James, thank you. Now to the Israel-Hamas war. Israeli forces pushing deeper into the southern city of Rafah. Some 300,000 Palestinians fleeing the city after evacuation orders from Israel, all of it potentially complicating those ceasefire negotiations. So let's bring in ABC's Marcus Moore reporting from Israel tonight. Marcus, where do those talks stand?
Rachel, those negotiations are ongoing and fighting has intensified, and Israeli officials have vowed to expand the operation in Rafah until a hostage deal is reached. The IDF tonight saying it's continuing with a precise operation and one that is limited in its scope. But we know tonight that more than 300,000 people have evacuated the areas where so many were taking shelter from other parts of Gaza. There have been dozens of civilian deaths in Rafah since the operation began. And on the Sunday morning talk shows today, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken said Israel lacked, quote, a credible plan to protect the 1.4 million people in Rafah. Israel saying it is doing everything it can to protect civilian lives there. And tonight, while there are no signs a deal is imminent, we understand that some talks on a potential ceasefire deal and hostage release have resumed. Rachel.
All right, Marcus, thank you. Back here at home, former President Donald Trump returns to court tomorrow after a weekend out on the campaign trail, and he will come face to face with his former fixer turned nemesis, Michael Cohen, who is believed to be the star witness in the hush money trial. ABC senior investigative correspondent Aaron Katursky has more.
On the eve of critical testimony from his one-time fixer, Michael Cohen, former President Trump took aim at the criminal case against him and disparaged the prosecutor who brought it, Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg.
I've come here from New York, where I'm being forced to endure a Biden show trial, all done by Biden, carried out by that's right, all being done by him, carried out by radical Democrat district attorney. You know who he is? Fat Alvin.
Prosecutors have accused Trump of falsifying business records linked to the $130,000 he paid to porn actress Stormy Daniels just before the 2016 election, so the public wouldn't hear her claim of a sexual liaison that Trump denies. Prosecutors said it was part of a scheme to deny voters information, and Cohen was at the center of it. He fronted the money. The jury saw the wire transfer, the invoices Cohen prepared, the monthly checks Trump signed to reimburse him, and the ledger entries where Trump called the payments legal expenses. And the jury heard a recording of Cohen talking about how Trump complained about paying.
I can't even tell you how many times he said to me, I hate the fact that we did it. And my comment to him was, but every person that you've spoken to told you it was the right move.
The jury also heard a lot of unflattering things about Cohen. Stormy Daniels' one-time lawyer Keith Davidson called Cohen a jerk and sort of a pants-on-fire kind of guy who no one wanted to talk to. Hope Hicks said Cohen was Trump's fixer only because he first broke things.
Michael Cohen is the only witness who can affirmatively link Donald Trump to those 34 allegedly falsified business records. Though, Rachel, he's a convicted liar. He served federal prison time. Look for the defense to say Michael Cohen cannot be trusted.
All eyes will be on that New York courtroom tomorrow. And separately, Aaron, Bob Menendez, the Democratic senator, also expected to stand trial tomorrow.
Jury selection begins tomorrow in a courthouse just down the block from where Trump's on trial. Senator Menendez is charged in a sweeping corruption scheme to aid Egypt and Qatar, to help a friend maintain a halal meat monopoly, to intervene in another businessman's legal troubles, all in exchange for wads of cash, gold bars, a luxury automobile. He has survived a corruption trial before. He says he's innocent this time, but his political future is very much in doubt, Rachel.
Second trial in a decade. Aaron Katursky tracking it all for us. Aaron, thank you. Next tonight, as we reach the end of the school year, school districts are bracing for a massive round of teacher layoffs. Schools have already been dealing with declining enrollments and inflation, but now federal funding passed during the pandemic is set to expire. Here's ABC's Morgan Norwood.
Tonight, school districts from coast to coast bracing for possible teacher layoffs,
as opposed to conducting the
tensions running high in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Dozens rallying against the school board's decision to cut teachers.
Say, when will we know if this is going to happen? And do it directly and clearly so I can go to sleep tonight.
In Hamburg, New York, district leaders approving a budget that includes layoffs for 20 employees, including 13 teachers.
The last thing in the world we want to do is lay off a single teacher, a single maintenance mechanic or custodian or teacher aide. We need to make sure that our revenues, our enrollment, our staffing are all in balance. And this budget does that.
And in Los Angeles, America's second largest school district, mounting concern for what budget cuts could mean for the city's teachers and students.
It's unfortunate and disappointing.
A critical factor in some of these budget battles, $190 billion in federal pandemic relief funding approved in 2020 and 2021 that some districts used to bolster their staff, now set up to dry this September.
The federal funding is coming to an end this fall. Another reason is increasing inflation costs and costs of things like healthcare and education. And another reason is declining student enrollments in our K-12 public school systems. So this kind of combination of factors has really created the perfect storm.
And Rachel, experts say students in lower income districts could feel the brunt of these layoffs. But look, this fight is far from over. The National Education Association, the country's largest labor union, is demanding that federal, state, and local leaders come up with a solution that serves both educators and their students. Rachel?
A lot of concern over this. Morgan, thank you. Next tonight, Apple employees at a retail store in Maryland have voted to authorize a strike. It could be the first walkout by Apple employees in the U.S. Talks between the union and the tech giant do continue. The union, which represents 100 workers at the store, was also the first to unionize. There's so much more ahead on World News Tonight this Sunday. Tears and disappointment at a major university when not everyone is allowed into the commencement ceremonies. And 2 days after being hit in the head, one of the greats of tennis suffers another blow. Next tonight, outrage at Howard University. 2 graduation ceremonies canceled on 2 consecutive nights because of overcrowding. Parents and graduates left in tears Thursday, not allowed into the nursing school's commencement. And then on Friday, hundreds hoping to attend the College of Engineering's graduation at the same venue had to stand in the rain. The school telling our affiliate this year's class is the largest in its history. And a passing to note tonight. Rick Slayman, the 62-year-old man who received the first ever pig kidney transplant, has died. Slayman underwent the 4-hour procedure just 2 months ago. He had been living with type 2 diabetes and hypertension for many years. Massachusetts General Hospital, where the surgery took place, says there's no indication his death was caused by the transplant. The family thankful for 7 extra weeks with their loved one. When we come back, Novak Djokovic falls short at the Italian Open. What he's now saying about that blow to his head. To the index now, and a new look in Minnesota, the state officially unveiling its new flag. The new design features an 8-pointed North Star against a dark blue background, similar to the shape of the state. The light blue represents the Mississippi River. The flag and new seal replace symbols dating back to 1858 that many found offensive to indigenous people. One of the world's top tennis players putting on one of his worst performances. Novak Djokovic losing in the 3rd round of the Italian Open to a 29th seed in straight sets. It comes just 2 days after he was accidentally hit in the head by a water bottle. He joked about it the next day, thinking that he would be fine for the match, but said he felt nauseous and dizzy. This year's Eurovision Song Contest was one for the record books. Swiss singer Nemo, the first non-binary winner of the contest, accepting the trophy for the people that are daring to be themselves. Eden Golan, the singer from Israel, took the stage to a mixed reaction of cheers and boos. She finished in 5th place. And when we come back, it's never too late to celebrate Mother's Day. And finally tonight, one family celebrating their first Mother's Day together, more than 4 decades in the making.
Tonight in Baltimore, Maryland, a mother and son celebrating their first Mother's Day together. It's a special day. Kimberly Ramos was 15 years old when she gave her son Jason to a private adoption. More than 4 decades later, she's married with 2 daughters and grandchildren. But she never forgot about her son.
I resigned myself a long time ago that I was never going to be able to find him because it was a closed adoption.
Jason Banwart, now married with kids of his own, knew he was adopted, but wasn't looking for his biological parents. When his wife gifted him a 23andMe kit for Christmas to learn about his family health history, he saw someone matched as a potential niece. He messaged her and got a response. It was Kim's daughter, Jennifer.
He responded that, "I'm not your niece, I'm your half-sister, and I've been looking for you."
My daughter, Jennifer, called me, started the conversation with, "Mom, are you sitting down?" The tears just started rolling.
Their first in-person meeting. It had been 43 years since Kim last held her son.
It's unbelievable.
And on this Mother's Day, they're celebrating their first Mother's Day together. Medium Rare Restaurant hosting their big day, grateful for new beginnings.
I suddenly had that complete feeling, like a hole was filled in my heart that I didn't know was even there.
Our world just got bigger and our family got bigger. And it's just remarkable.
And a very happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Rachel Scott. Good night.
Thank you for making World News Tonight with David Muir, America's most watched newscast.